right. Hello, everyone. Gonna wait for some people to show up, but when you get here, hello. All right. Happens when it's raining. Leggings, love you when it. I'm so glad that guy decided to go for a ride on his skateboard, drink some cranberry juice, and listen to this song. Because now it's like way popular again, and I love it. All right, well, welcome to all of you who are going to be joining and any future viewers. Hello. I just wanted to hop on today and give you an update, and I've got some projects and things that we can work on. I'm going to give you a little update on what's happening, but I think what I'll do is I will go through some of the stuff that I've been working on and kind of show you that first. Oh, looks like someone's here. Hello. All right, so I'm gonna flip the camera around today because we're gonna start off by doing just some wire wrapping. I've got all of these stones, so I figured we could just kind of get started with that. So give me a minute here to flip the camera around. And I really need a new tripod. This tripod is not meant for this kind of stuff, so one of the upgrades that I will need soon. 1 second. Okay, flip you. There we go. So I've got lots of stuff out here today you can play with. Oh, Juanita's here. Hi, Juanita. Thanks for joining. How are you? Happy New Year. There we go. Okay, should be fine. The first thing I do when I get back to the States is I'm gonna get a new tripod set up because the one I have is used for like my DSLR camera, so it's really awkward to set up on the table, and I have to like lean my head over at a weird angle. It makes making these tutorials really difficult also, so I'm gonna make my life easier soon. Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope your holidays were great. The new year is off to the races. Should probably shut off my music here. Oh, Lori's here too. Hi, Lori. Okay, so I have some rocks. I got a bag of these given to me. I think it's just from one of those, you know, when you go to like the gem stores and they have the big like bucket full of rocks, you can just like however many you can fit into the bag is like 10 bucks or whatever. Anyways, my mom and her cousin picked out all of these really beautiful rocks for me. And my mom knows enough about my wire weaving and stuff to know that I like flatter stones, you know, instead of the big like chunky ones, which you can still do a lot with. I just find that you can do a lot more wire wrapping, like patterns and stuff when they're like nicer, flatter stones. So we have to pick one out. I'll show you. I did wrap a couple of these the other day. I did this one, which I really love the green and the copper together. I'm not sure what stones these are. I'm assuming this one is like an aventurine, however you say that. So I'm just doing some simple wire wrapping instead of really elaborate weaving patterns around. I mean, I do have a weave on the bail. There's the back side. And then I've put a bead at the top. And then I picked out a smaller one because I love red with the copper as well. I just made like a little pendant out of it. This one was from a couple years ago. I wrapped a citrine stone. So we always have this style of wrapping that we can do as well. It's really nice to know how to do these like simple wire wraps too, because sometimes it just calls for a simple wrap. So let's see, which one do we want to do? Anyone have a preference? Yeah, try to pick out one from the camera. I've actually been wanting to do this one. I think it's a cool shape. You can't really tell the color too well here, but it's like a deep navy color. Also, I kind of wanted to wrap these and show you just to, because you don't always need a like a perfect looking cabochon, you know. You can, if you know how to wrap asymmetrical stones, it's really nice to know. The stone doesn't have to be perfect. It can be shapen however you want. I can't decide. This one's kind of cool. Okay, let's narrow it down. Ooh, this one's really pretty. I could probably just sit here and look at stones all day with you. This one's gorgeous, red. I don't know if that's like a red jasper, some sort of agate. I know, aren't these pretty, Lori? I could just sit here and look at them. I've also got like some rose quartz type, which would be very nice to wrap. Valentine's Day is coming up. I should get these pink ones wrapped. Would be nice. Oh, really being very indecisive here. Okay, well, why don't we go ahead and wrap this one? Let's go for it. It's kind of diamond shaped one. So what I'll do first when I get the stone is I'll look at it for a while and figure out which side I want to be the front and which angle I want it to hang. Oh, that's kind of nice. But I think I'm gonna go, I don't know. Well, we'll kind of see as we go along. Okay, and then I do have some wire. And today I'm going to be using square wire. So if you're not familiar with square wire, it's square instead of round. So I started off basically with just round wire. My go-to wire was always Juanita says they are pretty. I look at my rocks more than I wrap them. I know, I think I do the same thing too. I just get them out and I'll look at them and then I'll put them away. So I was saying my go-to wire was always 20 gauge round wire and 28 gauge round wire. And I use that for everything. And you can still use round wire to wrap the stones. But I am finding that the square wire, when I do this style, is a little bit more secure. It doesn't roll around on the stone so much. I don't know, I think it just works a little bit better. So we're gonna be using 20 gauge square copper wire. And the other thing is too, with square, you can twist it, and that's how you get that twisted shape. That's using square wire. You can't do that with round wire. So it just allows for some other design elements in it. And then the other wire we're going to use, we will also be using, wait, is that the wrong one? 28 gauge round wire. If we do like a bail, I'll probably use that. And then I'm also using half round wire, and I can't remember the gauge because they wrote it out this way and I don't know how to translate that. But I think when I bought this, I bought it as, I think I did like 21 gauge. It was some weird gauge that I had never bought before. But I tell you, the reason I did that is because half round wire, you probably will not be able to see it on the screen. I think I need an upgraded camera too. But anyway, so what it is it's round wire cut in half. So one side is flat and then the other side is round. And I really like that for like this portion on the bottom because it sits well on the square wire, and doesn't roll around. It looks, I think it just looks nice and it's easy to work with for this project. So those are the wires we'll be using. So I'll take this and okay, I gotta admit, I'm a little nervous to do this on camera because I don't normally create live. So you can already see I'm like being very indecisive and putting off getting going. But I'm gonna try. I think this new year I'm gonna be doing a lot of new things that scare me just to get over them. And so might as well start the new year off with this one. All right. Okay. Not a whole lot of technique goes into this. I'm gonna kind of judge how I want this to face. And then to figure out how much wire I need, I kind of think, okay, how much do I want for the bail and then for other like pretty things to come down and around. So if I wrapped it and I have from like there to work with, that's probably a good amount for, Lori says, you can do it, Kelly. You're among friends. Okay, thanks. I feel better. Well, everyone's here now. Before there was no one here. I'm like, oh no, no one wants to watch. Thanks, Juanita. All right, so I'm just kind of judging from the top of the stone to here if I think that's enough to work with. And if I'm ever worried about that, I will just do a little extra. And then I basically fold that in half. So it's equal on both sides. Doesn't have to be perfect by any means. And so that will be my wire to start with. Okay, keep my workspace clear. And then I'm gonna cut, let's see, I'll just do kind of the same pattern as before on this. I'm gonna use 4, so I use 2 together to go up the side of the stone, and then the other 2 are gonna secure the stone in place. So while I'm cutting that, what has everyone been up to? Is anyone working on anything new right now, or what's going on with you? I am down in the Turks and Caicos Islands right now. I think, actually, how long have I been here? December, I think it was like a week before Christmas I got here. So I think the last time I had a live was back in November, and a lot happened since then. The last live I was in Iowa and you all were with me. Lori says, I need your help. Okay, yes, we can all help each other get going on this year. So I was in Iowa and I was doing the words. I had the little shop, you remember the little gas station, and I had a great time. I had to pack all of that up and pack all of my bags. So I have to tell you, it is so stressful because I have to pack, like, I took all of my jewelry making supplies, not everything, but practically everything. I have accumulated a lot of supplies, and having to pack not only my supplies, but also like all my clothes and bathroom stuff, everything into 3 suitcases. Now I would prefer to only have 2 suitcases because the airport like pretty much rapes you on luggage now. First 2 are fine. The third one, you might as well give up your unborn children to have a third piece of luggage. And so I was really stressed out. I was trying to pack everything up, and I was almost crying just because I'm so tired of packing and moving my stuff via airplane. I have moved all of my things from the States to Turks and Caicos, moved everything to Cancun, and then moved everything from Cancun up into Arizona, and then from Arizona back up to Iowa. From Iowa, I packed everything up again. I've moved everything back down to Arizona. I couldn't come to Turks and Caicos straight from Iowa because Arizona is like my home base. That's where all my stuff is. In Iowa, I had all of my winter clothes, so I couldn't just go from Iowa to Turks and Caicos. So I went back down to Arizona. I packed up everything, switched to tropical clothing, and the plan was to come here to Turks and Caicos for, sounds like a nightmare, she says. Kind of was. I know, it's crazy. Well, that R worse was a trigger word for me, so I gotta go. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. That's naughty me. I have to watch my mouth and language. Sorry about that. So, oh gosh, I feel really bad now. Anyways, I am back down here in Turks and Caicos, and the plan was to be here until March. So, I don't even know what the plan is actually anymore. I was going to be here until March, and then so much has happened that I'm probably going to go back early in, I don't know, a few weeks from now. I'm not sure. So my husband and I have decided, because we've got word that we will hopefully get his interview this year. So instead of me kind of living here with him and maybe going back and forth a little bit, I'm going to go to Arizona and like really commit to finding a job and getting a place and doing all of the adult things that we need to do to get settled. So that's what's going on with me. What's going on with y'all? I'm going to quit talking for a minute just so I can get this cut. I'm using the half round wire now, and I'm just gonna cut a little bit. That should be enough, plenty actually, to do the bottom part. So I'm coming to the middle of the wire. And so with the half round wire, you have to be more careful because it can get twisted, and you always want the flat side down on the wire. Juanita, you've never been on a plane? Oh my gosh. I have been on so many plane rides. Never ever? Do you plan on maybe trying to go on a plane? Probably not now with all of the, no one wants to travel right now here too. That's the other thing, is like traveling right now really sucks because of all of the COVID and mask wearing, and it's nerve wracking. Like I had to get a COVID test done before I could come down here. So especially in the Turks and Caicos Islands too, you have to have a COVID test taken within 5 days of traveling. So you have to everything is much better now. I found a company to go through. It's called Vault Health, and they will send you an at-home test kit to do a PCR test. So you open the kit and you jump on a Zoom call with somebody and they walk you through it and they watch you do, it's a spit test. And then you overnight it back. And I had my test results back within like 24 hours of them getting the test. So that relieved me a lot because I was worried that what if the test doesn't come back in time and then I have to change my travel plans. And it was nerve-wracking, but once I got that COVID test done, I was like, oh, nothing to worry about really. Okay, so my camera, it's not, I'm gonna see if I can turn on the light if that helps. I don't really like the light, but I think the quality is a little bit better. I hope you can see better now. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Happy 2021. Good to have you here. So sorry, Juanita. I personally love to fly. Juanita, you said you're scared of heights. I am too, but I guess I've flown enough now that I just got to get over. I had to get over my fear. Sharon, we're just wrapping some stones. I'm just blabbering on, kind of not wrapping at the same time. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just guiding this half round wire around. So I'm keeping the flat side down. And I've made sure to keep my square wires like all flat. And then after every few coils or so, I will push them together so they're nice and tight. And then actually I like to take flat pliers and give them a little squish now and then just to keep everything looking nice. The weather down here, though, has been excellent. Actually, sort of missing the winter weather of Iowa. It was kind of nice after having been gone for so long to be able to wear jeans and flannel shirts, and now I'm back to just like sweating all day in tank tops and shorts. Tracy says, hi Kelly, glad you're using square and half round on this. Yes. Has everyone worked with square wire before? Is there anyone that's never used square before? Okay. And I don't know. So what I'll do is periodically just kind of gauge. This is going to be my center at the bottom. I might go just a little bit further. Okay. And then I'm going to use my cutting tool. So when I cut this, Juanita says I use square and half round. Lori, I have several gauges of square wire and half round. Okay, right on. We're all familiar. So when I do finish this, this is going to be the outside and the inside. So I like to cut my wires on the inside. Like so. And then squish them down. Just like this. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of find where I think the center is and use my pliers to grip and then create that like crease. Do that, and then I'll take my stone place it in, and oh my gosh. Obviously I wasn't paying attention very well because this side is way longer than this side, so I completely missed the middle of it. But that's okay because I think that this is all extra anyways. Ha. Okay. So I'll just form this around. Juanita, I'm just learning. Love all your pieces, Kelly. Thank you so much, Juanita. I don't know what that sound is outside or if you can hear it. Someone's working on something. All right, so it's kind of the shape I like there. Now to go around these corners, I'll probably have to wrap this different because of those corners. So I'll just kind of find where the bend is, maybe use my fingers, especially if you're using dead soft wire here. It's kind of easy to just shape the wire however you want it. Sometimes you can go in once you have an idea. I like to just go in with my fingers or pliers, maybe and shape that. Oh my gosh. Can you guys hear that noise outside? It's like, but it's not I don't think it's an animal. It sounds like someone's trying to like tighten something like with a wrench, and it's making like a loud grinding sound. So since, yeah, you hear it? I know, it's weird. I have no idea what it is, but it seems to have stopped, so I don't need to go investigate. Yikes, an animal. Okay. And there's not really that many animals like around here, so I'm not concerned about it being like something that could eat me. All right, so we've got, that looks pretty good so far. So I'll kind of just pop this out now, and to form the top, I'm just going to bend these upwards. And I always kind of put this back in here just to check to make sure that it's still gonna line up okay. Oh, Lori, don't scare her. She's already a little nervous. I know. That would be the thing. Some animal jumps through my window during the live stream. Ah. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna take my leftover, well, maybe I don't have a lot of leftover. I'll cut a new piece of, I'm still gonna be using the half round wire on the next part. Da, da, da. Okay, so I'm just getting these to flatten out. And then just to make sure that this stays in place, I'm gonna wrap just around one of the wires first, just to kind of act as a stopper. Oh, I don't have my glasses on, that's why I can't see anything. Hold on. What gauge flat and half round are we using? We're using 20 gauge for the square wire is what I'm using for the frame. And then the half round, I believe, is 21 gauge. So I was talking about this, it was a weird gauge I remember ordering. And I ordered a little bit thicker than 20 gauge because when you order half round, it's gonna come thinner no matter what. So if I ordered 20 gauge, I mean, that's gonna be like a 20 gauge wire cut in half. So it's even more flexible and thinner. So I think I went up to a 21 gauge wire just so it wouldn't be too thin. And I'm really happy with the size of this half round wire. Okay, we're just gonna wrap the bail. If you guys ever wonder why I like look weird sometimes the way I wrap things, if you think that, maybe you don't think that, but it's just because I have to have my arms out in front of me, like in the camera frame. So I have to do things a little differently when I'm making on the screen. All right, and then with the, let's go to the back side. I'll just grab one of these and I'm gonna wrap the extra square wire, or sorry, flat half round around one of these and kind of just push it down. And then we're gonna trim off the tails. Okay. All right, so this is gonna be my front. I think here it is. I've put that back in. Ooh, hope I didn't get it too tight. There we go. I've popped that back in. And now I want to decide what I want to do with the front, how I kind of want to bring the first wire in and across to the stone. Oh, so maybe it'd be easier just to take it out. This is one of my favorite tools. These are needle nose, flat nose pliers. So I'm gonna lift up the top wire and slide the needle nose pliers in. And then I'm gonna just do a little lift and then down. So it kind of gives that little shape. Do that on the other side too. So I'm gonna lift and then just push that down. And then I want to bring them in just a touch. So I'm going to bend it in. Should hold the front of the cab in place. I guess I could have wrapped those corners. What should I do? Okay, while I think about that, I'll do the backside. Backside, all I'm gonna do is take the back wire and bend it in on both sides of the wrap. I guess maybe I should have done the back side first. I could put the cab in there and then do the front. So I think I might have to kind of maneuver this in here in a weird way. Hopefully I don't mess up my weave. Not weave, but wrap. Oh, just kind of shove it in there. Oh, someone asked about Parawire. Oops, cancel. I like Parawire. I haven't used Parawire. I believe we talked about that a little bit on the last live stream. And there we go. I guess everyone who uses it says they like it. I've heard good things. All right, so we've kind of got it in there. It's kind of funky. Is anyone else working on any wire wrapping projects right now? Okay, so the back is kind of secure. It's, this is a weird one. And again, my first time doing this on camera, and it just feels like terrifying, because I think normally I work really slow and I'll look at the piece for a while and I'll think about what I want to do, and this is like just do without thinking. Juanita, I like how you bent the wire without the stone in there. I have scratched many stones. Oh yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll kind of make a little shape. Almost like a flower petal shape on the front. Trying some wire rings right now. Okay, and Tracy says I'm making one of Oksana's heady pendants. Oh, cool. I've had this idea for a wire ring in my head for a while, Sharon, and I think I need to sit down and do some more rings also. Lori says that is very pretty. Makes me think of a lotus flower. Yeah, kind of like that shape. I could probably mess around with it a little bit more. Sometimes I mess with things for too long. Maybe I just get moving on. Oh, here's what happened. This didn't quite make it around. That's why. It says, yes, bring on the rings. I will do my best. I do have an idea, so. I'm working on some new tutorials as well for the YouTube channel, so expect more coming. What I've decided to do is I was having a lot of trouble. There's like a time, that time after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, where I just feel like I have no motivation for anything. Like my brain totally turns off. I feel like it's just such a dead week. I've heard a lot of other people say that too. And I try to sit down and I try to make myself get stuff done, and it just doesn't come. Like I tried to sit down and make some jewelry, and it just, I don't know. I felt like I'd lost my superpower. Like all my creativity was gone. I had zero inspiration. I'm like, oh, well, I guess my career's over. So I just kind of let myself be lazy for a while and just let it pass. And sometimes that's the best thing that you can do for yourself, is just let it pass. Otherwise, you start talking bad to yourself, and you just really don't get anywhere. So sometimes you just need to do something else for a while. So I sat down, I'm like, okay, this year, because I'm not home and I can't be doing my Etsy shop right now, because I'm in Turks and Caicos and the shipping from here is outrageous. So I just have to close everything down. So I'm like, how am I going to keep my business going and all this? So I decided to do more with my online community and doing more tutorials and stuff. And I sat down, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a list of all the tutorials that I'm going to do, and I'm going to start filming them. And I sat down. I could not think of one tutorial. Seriously, I couldn't think of anything. Nothing was coming to my head. So again, I let myself like just have a few days off, waiting for it to kind of come back. And then I wrote down all of these. Like one day, it just like all came to me, and I sat down and I just started writing. I'm gonna turn the camera around for a little bit if y'all don't mind, because I just need to take a break from the wire wrapping. I am recuperating from having COVID and just getting back making necklaces and earrings. Oh my God, you had the Rona? Well, I'm really glad you're on the mend. That's really scary. I have a couple friends actually in quarantine right now, Juanita, who are also recuperating. I mean, they're doing okay, so we're not like worried about them. They're all kind of on the other end of it as well. So yeah, I've got some work set in place for the coming months, and I'm gonna do my best to get a lot of this like filmed ahead of time so that I can just like be releasing tutorials more regularly. So one of the other things I do want to kind of fill everybody in on, because I know we're already like 45 minutes or so into this. So I do want to let everybody know that I have started a Patreon page. I've been putting that off for a while because I do think that there's a time, a good time and a bad time to start a Patreon. And I wanted to kind of grow my online library and the amount of like subs I had first before I started Patreon, just so it's a little bit more successful. And I wanted to make sure that I had enough to actually offer people. So I have started a Patreon page, and I believe if you go to the description below this video, Tracy says, awesome, looking forward to new tutorials. They're coming. So I don't know if all of you are familiar or not with Patreon, but it's like a social media platform where you can donate to like your favorite content creators for what they're doing. I'm sure a lot of you know, but just in case like anyone out there is watching doesn't know what Patreon is, or anyone in the future watching. So it allows you to go and donate, and it's, some people like use it as just a tip jar. So if they're already putting like free videos or content on YouTube, it's a way that you can just kind of keep donating to that creator. Other people offer extra like benefits and perks to the people who like pledge, do a monthly pledge with them, and you'll get like, you know, exclusive videos or downloads or free stuff, you know, whatever the creator wants to offer. I've been following a few people on Patreon for a while. I tried to find your Patreon and couldn't find it. I'm gonna check the link because before I went live, I put it into the description, so I need to make sure it's there. Maybe it's not. But anyways, I will put it in the description of this video afterwards. And I also have it posted on like my Facebook pages, on the Siren and the Pirate, and on my personal one, whichever one you're on. It's also on, if you're on Instagram, I have a link in my bio on my link tree. It can take you right to the Patreon as well. I've followed some people on Patreon for a while, a lot of artists that I really, you know, get a lot out of the material. So some of them have like one tier, and it's like just a like flat monthly pledge, and others have like multiple tiers. So I right now just have one tier, and it's only $2 a month. If you want to continue to help donate towards my free tutorials and more content for the future. And I'm just gonna keep it that way for now, because like even though I want to do like more tiers and offer all this online stuff and extra things, because my life is so up in the air right now, being here in Turks, and I'm going to be back in the US, and I've got a lot of transitioning going on. So I always want to make sure that I can follow through on the goals that I set and what I say. So right now I'm just doing a $2 tier. You can join, and it helps me to be able to continue to create my YouTube tutorials. I'm really hoping to be able to use some of the money to buy a new tripod. That's what I'm going for, so that it's just easier for me to make it and whatever. So I'm going for a tripod. And so I'm also actually offering more exclusive downloads on there too. So I just finished a tutorial for a wire woven pendant. Now I've always wanted to try to make a PDF tutorial, and I didn't know like if I could do it, like what are the logistics and making it happen. And it's a lot of work, so you got to sit down and create the piece and then write down all the steps and video everything. But I did it this last week. I sat down, I made a design, and I'll show you. This is the design. Oops, that's the back side. Let me get it right here. And then I asked people on my Instagram to help me name the piece, and they named it Amphitrite because of the sea-like. Maybe I'll flip the camera around and show you, but it has a sea creature quality to it. And Amphitrite is the Poseidon's wife, the sea goddess. And it's the design is inspired by me being down here in the Turks and Caicos Islands right now. But I made my first PDF tutorial on this, which will eventually, I'll have my PDF tutorials for sale. But for all new and existing Patreons, I'm offering it as a free download when you go and join my Patreon. So it's just $2 a month is all it is right now, the only tier. Everybody has access to it. You can download it. You can try it. There's 3 different weaves in here. There's a 3-3 weave, a 2-2 weave, and a 6-1 weave, and then a single coil. But yeah, all the weaves are actually broken down on the PDF too. So if you don't know how to do certain weaves, like they're all broken down. And then I have a couple videos on my YouTube already that can show you how to do those specific weaves. So I'm trying to offer more kind of like intermediate material as well too. But anyways, that's my Patreon spiel. Of course, I would love to have you on there, because I'm also creating a community for the Patreons. You'll be given access to, I created a private Facebook group. So when you join the Patreon, I send you a link, and that gives you access to this Facebook group where, you know, it's like when we're on YouTube, I never know like I mean, it's been friends, but anyone can kind of just drop in, or trolls, or whoever, you know. But if we create kind of like a separate community, we can do more like exclusive stuff and our private like lives and stuff like that. Anyways, that's my hope moving forward, is to be able to create more kind of intermediate content and move forward with that. So I'm going to flip the camera around again and show you some of the stuff that I've been working on. I don't know if I'm going to finish this wire wrapping piece. Tracy says we'll be joining for sure. Thank you, Tracy. I think we can really create a fun community, and my goal also is to be able to do some like collaboration labs. Like each month I would give you like an idea for a project, and then everyone has like a month to do it, and then you'll be able to share your work on that Facebook page. Does that sound like something you guys would be interested in doing? I think it sounds kind of fun. Okay, I'm gonna flip it around. So here's the a better view of the piece that is available for the free download. And here's some of the stuff that I've been working on. Now I didn't know, because I was in Turks and Caicos, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do some more like sea creature stuff. And so I'm kind of playing around with some shapes. I need to figure out like more weaving and what I want to do. I'm just doing the outlines right now. But I think eventually what I'll do is I just kind of free-handed these, and then I use the wire to kind of trace around them to get the shape. So I might do some tutorials on that and have this as a free download as well. Those were the stones I wrapped from the pile. This was my last tutorial that I did just a few weeks ago. I put this one out. And I did start doing some metal smithing stuff. This is a new piece that I have. It's called Wood Witch. It was inspired by a walk in the woods. So I'm doing some work with fused metals. And that's my, I already do a few earrings and necklaces with this shape that I call the origin. And then I'm working with some enameling right now, just getting into enameling, playing with some ring designs, which I still need to work on. Little wave piece. Spirals, and just using a lot of mixed metals here. This is TCI for the Turks and Caicos Islands. Thank you, Lori. And this is for, this is the sign of the goddess. And so my idea for the upcoming tutorials were, yes, maybe these, but I will be doing a tutorial on my galaxy pendant. I probably won't be using brass wire though, because I don't think I brought my brass wire here. So it'll probably be in copper, and I don't know if I have all of the same size of pearl beads. So I'll have to use just whatever I have, but the idea will be the same, and this is just a variation of that. So I thought for all of you who want to do that like collaboration lab project, shoot. Sorry. Hang on, everyone. We're almost there. Okay. Oh, hi, Lynn. Lynn, thanks for joining Patreon. Nice to have you here. So, so this is my idea for, ouch. I didn't cuss though. This is my idea for the collaboration lab for this month. I think that I want to try to keep it easy. but also like a little bit of a challenge. So my challenge for this month, and anyone can do this, like just if you have the Patreon, you can share your work to the Facebook group, but like you're more than welcome to do all of this along with us. Let's do a pair of earrings, and you have to use a 3-3 weave. If you don't know what a 3-3 weave is, it's 2 base wires, and you have 3 wires around the bottom and then 3 wires around both of the wires. Okay, so it has to be a pair of earrings. And Sharon says, love the enameling. Thank you, Sharon. I'm getting used to it because I'm just doing enameling with my torch. I don't have a kiln or anything, so I've got a little setup, and it's really fun to melt the enameling. Okay, so that's the collaboration lab, and it's gonna be due, let's say February, let's see, I'm gonna look at my calendar. For right now, I'll kind of keep live streams, I think on Tuesdays, we'll see. Let's do February 9th is the due date for the collaboration lab. So you're gonna make a pair of earrings, and the only requirement is they have to incorporate a 3-3 weave of some sort. So you can do whatever you want. You can do simple, you can do elaborate, you can use beads, you can use different shapes, whatever you want, but they have to incorporate that 3-3 weave. And I do have a video on how to do a 3-3 weave on my channel, so you can go and check that out too. All right, well, I've kind of somewhat given up on this for now. Thanks for joining. Is there anything else I needed to say? I showed you my new work. I wrote down some notes beforehand. The collab lab, we went through the Patreon, plans for tutorials, polishing, I was gonna talk about today, but I think I'm gonna save that for next time. So next live stream, I'm gonna kind of keep them on Tuesdays for right now. I don't know if this is a great time or not. I'm on the East Coast time, so I picked noon because I'm unavailable in the afternoons, and then the evenings. The only reason I did it in the morning is so I could have more natural light coming in for this, and in the evenings it's kind of dark, but if evenings work better, I can switch to evenings also. So does anyone have a preference out there? I mean, I could just try both and see how it works. But I think for right now, next Tuesday I'll do another one at noon again, and I'm gonna talk about polishing and some of the tools that I use to polish like my copper jewelry, things like that. All right, let me see if I got everything. Ouch. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I will put a finished, however I finish this, I'll probably post it on my Instagram. And be sure to check out the Patreon link. It might be in the description. Otherwise, you can go to my Facebook or my Instagram, and in the bio section on Instagram, the link is there. Or just send me a message and I'll send you the link personally from me. All right, Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is kind of a weird live stream. I feel like I was all over the place, but that's what life kind of feels like right now. And I felt like just by getting on here and kind of chatting with you guys and doing something, it would just kind of help move things forward and all that. So I appreciate everybody joining me today, and take care, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Mwah.